It's past time to expose the Democrats and Republicans for usurping liberty and freedom. What you are about to hear is the amalgam of passion and truth. This is the Southern Liberty Radio Show. Defenders of the world, and welcome to this episode of Southern Liberty. I am your host, with sometimes the most, Mr. Roderick Threets, and I'm glad y'all made it through the week. Glad y'all made it. There we go. The mixing board decided to disconnect on me. I don't have my normal engineer over there. Um, get your stuff together, son. But anyway, it's the grandbaby on the board over there. I taught her how to work the 60 channel mixing board I got over there, and she must have hit a button or something and it disconnected. But it's okay. I forgive you. But anyway, um, again, I appreciate y'all and all that good stuff around here. Hopefully, y'all had a good week and all that good stuff. Um, it's not much to talk about, so it's going to be kind of a short evening. State of the Union and the SAVE Act has been dominating the news, and that's kind of been pounded away. So, I guess I'm gonna give my take on all of it. And then we're gonna send a message to the Democrats, and we're gonna be gone this evening, right? This isn't gonna be clickbait, rage bait, that bait, raid bait, or rat bait. Ain't even gonna be roach bait. I'm just gonna say what I'm saying from the heart, because liberty compels me to do so, right? So before we get started, y'all go ahead and click like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure you're doing the things for the Liberty and Torture Liberty Media Foundation, and so we can bring in a few more people into our fold. A few every day is better than none every day, right? So, excuse me. With that, um, we all saw the State of the Union. Those of you that were here Tuesday, I played it through. Me and Miss Val commented real quickly at the end over it. I went back and watched it once. I listened to it via audio, make sure I didn't miss anything, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're here. You're here with the man in your face, gonna talk about it. Um, First of all, that State of the Union address, immaculate, immaculate. Because the State of the Union, I mean, if we remember correctly, right? Doesn't the Constitution start off with "We the people"? Hmm? Doesn't the United States government um get derive their power from the from consent the consent of the governed, right? The State of the Union address should always be about the states and then the people. And unlike other State of the Unions that we've heard, even Trump's his first one, right? It was more about the government. This time around, This time around, it was about the states and the people. And I think that really got under the goat of Democrats and et cetera, right? Because we saw the abomination that happened, right? And we'll touch on the itty bitty a little bit of it at a time, right? But we saw what was done and what was said, like the giving out the medals. What did that one broadcaster say? It was an award show. Yeah, I didn't say that shit last time, did you? It was an award show, right? The Congressional Medal of Honor is a civilian honor, and the president is a civilian, isn't he? So why can he not highlight the best and the brightest at this moment in time, and even recognize folks in the past that never got recognition? No more of this posthumous posthumous award given. Give these people their flowers now. And these people, man, oh, it was an award show. It's about the people. The State of the Union is about the people. It's about the people. And Donald Trump showed that, from victims, right, to the victims' families, to everyday Americans living up to the American standard. And there's plenty of us out here that may deserve that medal, but that night was their moment. And I don't understand a single American that would dissent to that or downplay that. Well, we do, but I'm trying to stay positive. Right? The people that do not like the American people don't care. We're not even going to bring race into this. Right? We're not going to bring any of that into this. It could have been a Filipino man. It could have been a Chinese man. It could have been a Black American. It could have been a Jewish person. It wouldn't have mattered to those people. They still wouldn't have stood and give praise to American exceptionalism. They don't have enough energy to do that. People say, "Oh, this is by design. This is not on purpose." No, it's not. No, it's not by design, and it's not in purpose. This is how these people feel. What did Maya Angelou say? When someone tells you or shows you who they are, believe them. I gotta shout out John Fetterman, though. Gotta shout out John Fetterman, because he's the only cool kid in the Democrat Party I even appreciate. Yeah, I have my qualms with him when he was the mayor. Some things questionable happened, right? But when you're the only person in your party standing on principle, right? You got a problem. But it wouldn't have mattered. It could have been 100-year-old grandma, like the one that spoke during the African American ceremony at the White House. They drug her. Hmm? Martin Luther King could have been alive and accepting that award in the gallery, and they'd have still dragged his ass and not stood up for him. Hmm? Hell, Pocahontas or Sitting Bull could have been brought back from the dead and given that award, and they still wouldn't have stood. These people fundamentally hate the nation of people. Fundamentally, it is written in their DNA now. It's not about Trump. We have to remove that factor, because when Trump is gone in 2028, they're still going to hate this nation of people. And we got to buckle down and prepare for that, because there's no negotiating with these types of people. There's no negotiating. Well, we're sorry. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's written in your DNA. It is written in these people's DNA. But they have a nerve to tell you, oh, no, what, a party switch. No, it didn't. No, because obviously, right, if the party switched, you wouldn't be acting the way you're acting, like the same Democrats of old. The same ones that promote lawlessness in this country, right? Y'all the same Democrats. Republicans wasn't causing all that kind of ruckus. But I digress. We'll get to that part in a second. But that State of the Union address, even including what I call the gotcha bitch moment, that's going to be a campaign ad for the midterms and the presidential election and the Senate, any Senate elections and House elections that will be happening within the next 2 cycles. Perfect campaign ad. And the only people that will still continue voting for this are going to be the people that they told, don't watch the State of the Union, he's going to lie. I'm sorry. He didn't tell a single lie during that whole thing. And yeah, we know sometimes Trump likes to embellish things. We know this. But nothing he talked about even needed to be fact-checked. Zero. He lied. What did he lie about? That 100-year-old man that got in that dogfight in the Korean War? Did he lie about that? Did he lie about Sarah Beckstrom, rest her soul? Did he lie about that? Did he lie about the young man that was with her, that was in the audience, that was supposed to have died from that gunshot wound, and he made it back by the grace of God? Did he lie about that? What did he lie about? This Donald Trump State of the Union address was literally a surgical strike upon the hearts of weak men and women. Remember, these are the same people that were hollering, right, human rights abuses. Viva Ukraine, huh? Same people, huh? They're still the same people sitting down over these 20,000, 30,000 protesters that's been killed in Iran. Still taking a whole ass seat. Not a peep. These are the same people not talking about the genocide in Tigray and Eritrea, or the genocide that's happening in Sudan right now. They're quiet on that. But human rights, right? And United States treats people like shit. They're fascist, right? That State of the Union address was a surgical strike. And anybody with any common sense sees the writing on the wall. But these Democrats, with the help of some Republicans, will get out here in these streets and will lie to you. Yeah, we like our American citizens, but then why didn't you show America on display? Why didn't you show America, instead of trying to say it to your people in private, right? and try to get a snippet recording. We're just protesting Trump. No bullshit. There's your stance of being dissenting to the State of the Union, and then there's the actual principle. Well, everybody's watching. And those 249 million people, I'm talking about voting adults, saw that. And those people going to act accordingly in the midterms. The other ones, vote blue no matter who, they'll be stuck in the sunken place while we move on as a country. Now, the SAVE Act, second part of SAVE Act has been hung up. Thanks, John Thune. Hanging it up again. All right, so nobody really gives a damn about making sure the elections are on point. Some people saying citizenship. You already needed to vote anyway. Where? I want people to understand, and this kind of transition to my last statement of the evening before we sign off. My message for Democrats. Just because hold on a second. That might fix the problem. So you can't talk to people like they're stupid, because the person across from you may not have an 80 IQ. You can't walk around here acting like you hate the nation of people that elected you to represent them, because obviously, some of you maybe are representing radicals and acting like a radical. So it's all about putting bodies in seats, right? Getting signatures on ballots, right? That's what they're all about? This nation is more than that. This nation was built on more than that. And in fact, y'all sat there in that gallery. I'm sorry, sat there in the well of the house and acted completely and totally anti-American is disgusting. It's an affront and a shame upon the people that you represent. And I hope the people that are in your districts harass you from when you get off the plane until you get back on it. I hope they show up to your donor events that you'll be having during your midterm pushes and harass the shit out of you. I hope they do. If they don't, it speaks to their character and it tells me how dumbed down your district is. I'm going to say this straight up. I'm going to say this 10 toes down, 100%, 10 toes down. These Democrats swear they have the superiority on intelligence. But I'll be damned, the way you vote and the way you propose shit and the way you tear down a nation of people is not high IQ. I mean, let's keep this shit real, right? When you let a group of people that have an average IQ of 60 undermine you and steal fraud from you, you ain't that smart. Are you? Are you really that smart if some 60 IQ motherfuckers pull up and steal all your money and you ain't know it? How smart are you? How intelligent are you? So y'all can get off that horse and put that lasso on the pole and let that horse sit right there by himself. Because you don't have that. You don't have that. Unless you're in on the fraud. Unless you're in on it. That still doesn't make you smarter. Because if the 60 IQ person figured out the fraud and you didn't, you supposed to have high IQ. That's the double slap in your face, huh? You can't, Democrats, you can't keep maligning women either. Oh, the birth certificate is not going to match their ID. So stop. Women are not that stupid. A woman knows. I'm not a woman and I know this. Just following basic common law. A woman can choose to change her last name or not when she gets married. It's only a formality. It's only a formality. And even if she does, right, Democrats, even if she does change her name, it only changes on her social security card, not her birth certificate. Because two documents you could never amend the name on is a death certificate and a birth certificate. Period. And if she's married and she takes her husband's name, it's not going to match. How do you think women have been voting the whole damn time? Women have been voting since the Vital Statistics Act. You don't think a woman, I mean, look, you people sit here and talk about we have strong independent women and all this, but you're going to talk about now they're getting disenfranchised? Wait, these strong independent women, right, especially the single mother ones, right, some of them by choice and some of them because of husband passed away or whatever, right, but they had to get up off their ass, go get their paperwork together and all these different things. Some of them had to go on public assistance. You got to have ID and proofs of identification to do shit like that. What you mean? What you mean it's going to disenfranchise women from voting? Fuck out of here. Women been handling their business since the 19th Amendment. Been handling their business. Right? But now they can't because the SAVE Act. They can't vote because of the SAVE Act because they don't know how to go get these documents. They know how to go get a fucking divorce. They know how to go to a lawyer and file in the court. You got to have ID for that, right? Huh? Like, these people think the American people are stupid. They think their constituents are stupid because they have told them that they have the that moral and intellectual superiority over them. That's why they think the way they think and get dumbed down and get not only dumbed down but gunned down in the streets. I said what I said. Because Democrats, remember, only a dummy is going to run out in the street and fuck with police. Only a dummy of low IQ is going to run out and fuck with police. The same police you call slave catchers is the ones you catching bullets from. You out here telling your low IQ voters that it's okay. This law enforcement agency is not legitimate, even though it's codified in the law that it's legitimate. You go accost them. You go tell them they're not welcome here. And when you see them, you harass them. The only difference is that these people think their privilege is a bulletproof vest. 2 of them found out real quick that's not true. Real quick. They're not here to tell their stories about it, how quick it was. I'm just spitting real speak. So these Democrats, they sit here and look at their constituents as prompted tap dancers. They're ready to jump at everything at will. And let's don't talk about Al Green and not the singer. Bless his soul. Someone just needs to take Al Green and put him in a pot of collard greens and set his ass to the side. Al Green ain't nothing but an agitator. Al Green's another example of a congressional district where the IQ is really low. I said what I said. I don't care. Y'all can clip it, do whatever you want to. I am of the conclusion that Democrat ran areas have the lowest IQ on average in the country. I am convinced of this. Right? They also have the highest taxation in the country. And what do? How do you make poor people poor? How do you make them? You tell them that this is the good for them. You take you extort the money from them, and then you turn around and give it to other people. And this time, I'm not talking about their buddies. I'm talking about the illegals, the ones they're sending over here to give them the money to replace the people they stole the money from. I am thoroughly convinced. This has been, in watching this has been the plan since the turn of the century. Once they realized they couldn't push around Negroes through the civil rights, they had to give them civil rights, right? And I want people to understand this. Once they gave the Negroes civil rights, the next year, what did they pass? The McCarran Act. The McCarran Act was the first wide open immigration policy bill in 65, and it only permitted middle-aged Mexicans and other foreigners to come into the country. I'll bring it up for you. So if y'all don't blame me, I'm gonna bring it up just so y'all can see what I'm saying. If it lets me. Why isn't it letting me? Okay, it's not. Apparently, it's not letting me right now. But anyway, it's the McCarran Act, because they no longer could keep people of melanin under their thumbs. The Democrats cannot keep them under their thumbs anymore. So they said, okay, fine, we'll give you civil rights. But the next year, right, we passed a wide open immigration bill to allow middle-aged to allow middle-aged males from other countries to get admissions to our country. Actually, for some reason, it's not letting me bring it up on the computer. I wonder if I could do it this way. Give me a second. No, it wasn't McCarran. I'm sorry. God, my brain's not working. What was it called? I'm sorry, not McCarran. My bad. Hart-Celler. I'm sorry. It's the Hart-Celler Act. Was the law they passed in 1965, wide, basically open policy immigration for middle-aged males to come into the country. That was the replacement. Actually, I should write it in the chat so people can catch me. I don't know why. I know why. I was reading the McCarran Act today too. I was reading the McCarran Act today for some reason. I can't remember what it was for. But the Hart-Celler Act is what opened up our borders, and that led to other immigration reforms, led to Clinton's, right, IRA, right, the Flores Agreement, right, and all that. And people that look like me don't realize they've been advocating for their replacement via their representatives since 1965. And we're here. And these people outnumber, right? These people almost outnumber the melanated community in this country. While their melanated representatives sit there, matter of fact, sit there and distract you with these stupid things. I want to play this video real quick. By this dumb Democrat that goes by the name of Janelle Bynum. She's a representative out of Oregon. I want to play this. I want to play this real quick. Y'all hang tight. Here we go. We'll play it right now. Let's go.
What did you think about that moment when the president was asking Democrats to stand up for American citizens during that part of the speech when he was talking about immigration and immigration enforcement efforts?
I think you can agree with the what, like standing up for American citizens, but I disagree with the how. And so it's always about how do we bring our country together, but not stand on the backs of others. There's thinly veiled racist language, anti-immigrant language in what he was asking, and that was uncomfortable.
Did she mean anti-illegal immigrant language? She forgot the illegal part. She forgot the illegal part. Notice how but her constituents in her low IQ constituents in her district are not going to point that out. It's just all it's all immigrants and no immigrants. It's like, no, anti-illegal immigrant. I would agree with you, ma'am. I would agree with you 100%. Is it racist? No, because I didn't know nations became, well, technically speaking, she's right, because race is based on nationality, right? We've talked about this before, people. This is how they double speak to people. They know better. They know better. They know better. They know race is based on nationality. But they haven't told their constituents that race does not apply to them. But they'll play the card, right? That's how they, you notice how when she said that, I'm just bringing something else up to you. When she said that and her low IQ constituents see that, oh yeah, Trump is being racist. Race don't apply to you if you're an American. It technically should not be applying to you unless you decide to participate in that and self-identify. I want to add one last thing though, right? I want these Democrats to also stop saying this is a modern poll tax. It's a modern poll tax, Rod. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe you would want them to vote on a bill that be a modern poll tax. Really? You know what my question is for all of you that are questioning me on that? Explain the Harmon Standard. Please. Explain the Harmon Standard. That's what when you hear people talk about that, ask them to explain the Harmon Standard. And I guarantee you 100% of them can't. A 100% of them cannot, because they don't read law, they don't read court cases, they just repeat what their fellow low IQ Democrat voters say and what their semi-pontificating representatives say to them to say. Like, let's stop the cap a second. Let me see something real quick here. For some reason, I can't bring it up on the screen. So I'm going to have to end up. I wonder if I could transfer it to the screen real quick. It won't let me put it on the screen. But I encourage you, I was going to keep you that long, but I encourage you to go look up the Harmon Standard as surrounded around poll tax, and you'll find something very interesting, right? They won't tell you, these people won't tell you that this bill is constitutional in its sense. It's not creating a barrier at all. Because if that's the case, right, because their argument is it's going to create a barrier to vote. Well, if that's the case, right, why do we even have an ID in the first place? Right? Why do we even register to vote in the first place? If the ID is a barrier to exercising your right, right? Let's keep it 100. And mind you, right, this is a positive right. Because look, please understand, people, voting is not a negative right. It's a positive right given to you, right? Because remember, the negative rights and positive rights, there's two differences. And negative right, a government cannot take away under any means, right? Mind you, if it's a just government, which we're kind of flailing at that right now. A positive right is given to you by statute or amendment, which can be taken away at any given time or governed any way they feel like it. So I want people please understand that voting on the federal level is a privilege. It's a positive right. I want people to understand that and put that together. Because if we took away the 15th Amendment, 19th is null and void, isn't it? Hmm? Where are you voting? Voting is not an inherent right. I want y'all to think about that. Now, if we have IDs for all these rights, I mean, hell, you need an ID in some instances to exercise your First Amendment right, don't you? I want y'all to think about that. I'm not going to give you the answer. I want you to think about that. You definitely need ID to exercise your Second Amendment right, don't you? You definitely need ID, right? Fourth Amendment, right? Right? Fourth Amendment, right? You do need ID if you've committed a crime, don't you? Once you commit a crime, your Fourth Amendment in that regard is stripped away, right? You have to ID yourself if you've committed a crime, right? You got to have your ID to receive due process in law. You got to have an ID so they can identify who they're giving due process to and putting habeas on, right? Do I need to continue? You get the point. So why, if you got to have some sort of ID to exercise your inherent right, right? If you have to have an ID to exercise your inherent and inalienable rights, you damn sure need one to exercise your positive rights, don't you? Tell me what courthouse will take your paperwork and file your court case without an ID. And Justin, it's Harmon. Yep, you spelled it right. Harmon. Anything you do surrounding government whatsoever, you need an ID. I'm not even going to bring up the argument about food stamps and all that. That's irrelevant to this conversation because you're talking about impeding on a right, a positive right. Every time you get stopped by the police or the highway patrol, what's that thing he asked you for? That ID to make sure you are a valid driver, right? But no, not for voting. We don't need to prove citizenship to be voting though. All the other amendments and rights in the Constitution need an ID, but that one. You've got to be lost your cotton picking mind. If these people, hold on, let me take that back. They have lost their cotton picking mind because they think people are that the nation of people are that stupid to believe that lie. I mean, hell, you can't get sick in this country. If you get if you go to your CVS or your Walgreens and get Sudafed or Walfed or whatever, you got to show ID because that shit has ephedrine in it. You got to show ID to get yourself well. But you don't need an ID to vote because it's oppressive. Then if that's the case, we got a lot of sick motherfuckers out in this damn street then, huh? That can't afford cough medicine. They can't be seen by a doctor because they ain't got no ID. And the people, and there's people in this country that believe these lies. They believe these lies without even thinking. I'm just saying, Democrats, stop talking to the nation of people like that, like they're 60 IQ. But you know what? Again, I wouldn't be surprised because these the poor education in these Democrat ran areas, the education standard in these areas promote the school to prison pipeline, right? The highest incarceration rates in this country were in Democrat strongholds until they instituted the no cash bail. And then they turn around and let them out. Oh, look, we're doing better. No, you're not. You're sending people out in the street that should have stayed locked up to go kill other people or run them over in cars. Hmm? Y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm preaching to the choir. Look, guys, y'all have a great weekend. Y'all do what you do. I love y'all. And remember, love your neighbors, love your family, but ultimately, love yourself. Y'all have a great weekend. Peace and love, everybody.